Hi, welcome back to the Chase Life with Kelly show. I am your host, Kelly Chase. I have an Atlanta local on the podcast with me today. Her name is Maddie Gray. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
Props to Kelly. I've always wanted to start one. Not able to do it. So this is super impressive. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I was telling her, I'm like, I don't do any of the editing, so that makes the podcasting that much easier. I kind of just like show up, do my zone of genius, and then pack it away and, upload it and have my team edit it. Cause I wouldn't like
Totally.
I've taken pauses with this podcast, but it's because I just like energetically couldn't show up and I was just like, I think out of alignment. But like, had I had to edit it myself with all the other things that I was doing,
way too much.
I would have been doing it for 4 weeks and I've been like, no, this isn't for me.
Content creation is difficult because you do have to be in the right headspace. Like I'll have some things that are due for brands and I'm just not feeling it that day. The vibe is off. I can't film.
Oh yeah.
So it's difficult.
And it's hard when you try and push it too. You're like, yep.
Exactly.
You can see that in there.
So sometimes when I'm in the mood, I'm having a good hair day or good makeup, or I'm just feeling kind of spunky, I'll do like 3.
Yeah.
And then I'll slow drip them out.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, like they always say too, like batch creating your content. It's just like
totally
so great. That's what I need to do too. I feel like speaking like this is like this queen of entrepreneur. Like,
oh gosh,
you are a freaking serial entrepreneur. Like she gets an idea and runs with it.
That is true. That's the only way to do it. If I think of something and I want to start it, I'll just start it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then, oh well. But I think a lot of people have so much pride that they're not able to like not make it work. So they just never start.
Yeah.
Or they do the obsessive researching. Mm-hmm. So I saw this one reel that was like, researching the thing is not doing the thing. Reading about the thing is not doing the thing. Listening to other people talk about how they do the thing is not doing the thing. So everything I've learned, I just started to do, and then I'll run into something and I'll deal with it when I run into it.
I love that. I love that. Well, it's interesting because like I created an Instagram page for like business and mindset coaching.
Sure.
Like probably 5 or 6 months ago.
Sure.
I sat on it for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like the idea because I was like, I don't know if I should create another account because that's just like one extra place that I have to show up in.
It is.
Or if I just start talking about this stuff on my Instagram, but then it's like muddy water on my Instagram because a lot of my following came from the show. And that's just a whole other beast. Like it's such a whole other beast. But I was like, Kelly, you keep waiting. Like you keep just waiting. And I keep seeing people that I've been in like master classes with and workshops with. And I'm like, they're living these lives, they're doing the damn thing, and I'm sitting here waiting, just watching them do the thing that I would like to be doing.
It's the obsessive research.
Yeah, it is. And I'm like, okay, what did they do it? Maybe I do it this way. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing everything I literally would tell a client not to do. Like, literally, I'm like, just start. Who cares? Show up online without makeup. Like all the I think literally since the show, I have been all of my content, not to say it's like perfect because it's not. I was just saying that like even with this show, like, but there are parts of me where I am discovering like I feel like it needs to be some level of perfect or I can't bear it. It's like an internal like anxiety or something.
Because you're putting yourself out there, so you don't want it to flop.
Yeah.
Because you think everybody's talking about how you tried to do the thing and you couldn't, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's
talking about it. No.
But people will talk about it when you're successful. Once you start getting the views, then they'll talk about it. So it's a mindset thing.
It is a mindset thing.
But the best way to learn is just to go all in and start it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I did that I started a bikini brand and I was all in and I got all these bikinis and I sewed on all my logos and whatever. And I made the Instagram page and it was popping. And then I pivoted and now I'm doing ATLSwimWeek. And so the bikinis are on hold.
Okay.
And everybody's wanting to order. And I'm like, hang on. We're going to need to revisit that. There's no funds and there's no inventory.
Yeah. No inventory.
So we're going to go back to that. But nobody's ever like, where's Maddie's bikini? It's
right. That's true.
So you can, start something and then pivot back to it too. And I think people don't consider that.
Yeah, they think if you're like, it's and I think that's been my issue and why I literally just launched this because I sat on the account. I was like, let me just go ahead and create it because when I do this, it's there and I've saved the name. I have the account name. It's almost like you're like buying a domain, but never doing anything with the domain kind of thing. Like I've literally been sitting up with this Instagram account. I think, you know how Instagram will tell you like when someone starts a new account or they join Instagram or something.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes you get those notifications. So like I have a few followers from my Chase Life account that followed it. But I was like, no, nobody, like I'm not posting anything. Like nobody follow me.
Yeah,
Follow me yet. But now I'm like, okay, at least if I show up a few times a week in there and just give some tips and stuff. My really what I would like to do is post like 2 to 3 times a day for like 30 days and get that account going. But I'm like,
it's a lot though.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of posting.
And as you know, like you also work a 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
And I do too.
Absolutely.
And it's fucking a lot.
It's so hard. It's so difficult. I always say I have like 5 Instagram pages and I put everything on them and I always just say, throw everything up and see what sticks.
Yeah.
So I would do fitness and health and wellness and fashion and the fashion shows and whatnot. And then I started doing these diets, like eating a day in the life of whatever. I don't know why, but the people love them. I mean, I'll just come on in my scrubs with no makeup and I'll be like, today we're eating like this Victoria's Secret model, millions of views. So you never really know what your audience is looking for or what you're good at until you try it.
Yeah.
The more you put out there, the more you can tell,
That's true.
You know, what has potential to go viral or what people really want to see.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't think that people would want to see that I did it for fun, but it was huge. And so then I did like 10 more and for some reason they all do pretty well.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm eating food.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People love to see me eat food.
They're interested to know what you're eating because I feel like, I mean, for a variety of reasons, but they aspire to be like you.
Sure.
You know, so it's like, oh, what is she
fitness
eating?
account. Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I think that, you know, it was very difficult for me and it still is sometimes, but like taking on like after the show came out, like I all of a sudden went from being like a health coach to an influencer.
Sure.
And granted, I'm going to say this and it's like a limiting belief, I know, but when you're in coaching and you're growing a business online, it's like you're speaking to an ideal audience. Like there's a niche, like
absolutely,
you have like a target audience of who you're trying to help. When you're an influencer and you have 300,000 followers overnight, what it felt like, it's like, what do they want? Because if I start talking only about nutrition or only about business stuff or only about God knows what, it's not speaking to the masses anymore. And I just gained a massive following. So it was extremely difficult for me to navigate. And I was in my head a lot because I would kind of niche down and I would not lose followers, but I would lose engagement.
Sure.
And that lack of engagement was effing with my head so much.
Yes, it'll mess with you, won't it?
Yeah.
If I lose a chunk of followers, I'm like, what happened? That was me. You guys don't actually like who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really a like cat and mouse game though on social media because it's like, oh, you lose that and then you like are trying to get something else to go viral. So you gain more followers or you get this like boost in engagement and then you're like, wait, but like, was that piece of content that I created, like, was that really like what I'm about? Or like, is it truly authentic?
Sure.
Like, or am I just doing it to see if something will go viral, but could I maintain that?
Like, I had the makeup phase, the makeup transitions. And I was like, so I just need to find the trending sound then. And then this many people did it and this much competition and the arrow says under 1,000 and the top views are 13,000, then I'll be number 1.
Yeah.
And so I had this like algorithm in my head that was working. And then, no, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Those were entertaining for me.
I go through the phases, you know. Yeah.
But what I love and again, I mean, I'm not in your head. I don't see the back end of that. Like you could be trying things and like have, you know, lack-minded, or you could be like, oh God, that hurt me or whatever. Like, you know, and get insecure, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Get insecure about how things are. But to the public eye, to me, like, I don't ever see that.
Right.
And so I'm like, no, she's just like doing this. And when it isn't serving her anymore, she pivots and does this.
Right.
And like, and it's really cool to see. Like, you know, if you're a manifesting generator, or like, do you know human design?
No idea what manifesting a generator means. You'll have to tell me and then I can answer the question.
Basically, I think you are, because that's kind of what they do. They get ideas and if they don't act on it very quickly, like it kind of is like a fleeting thought.
Oh, then yes, I
And then-
act on it immediately. I have to call someone and tell them about it. I just did this the other day with Atlanta Swim Week. I went on a run and I'll go for these long runs in Chastain. I'll run the loop twice, which I think is like 6 miles or something. And I had this idea. I'd seen this SNL video that I wanted to recreate it for the sponsors of Atlanta Swim Week, like a 90s commercial where you like keep the bloopers in it. And I just had this whole rundown of what I wanted to do. And I called Tori Chapman immediately and I was like, I got to get this idea out. It's in my head and I don't want to forget about it and I want to make it right now.
So, no, I love that. No, but
I definitely do that.
It's like you manifesting. You're literally generating your manifestations.
Absolutely.
So you're like, and there's like a generator and then there's a manifesting generator. And it's like you put something in your mind and you do it and therefore it becomes a thing.
Absolutely.
And I just love it.
Yeah, I feel like that's me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's you too.
Yeah, it is.
Like
except for like I said, I think that I have held myself back, like,
sure.
But then I'm all up in my head and I'm like, I feel like I'm playing small. I'm dimming my own light because I'm like, oh my God, like I could have been 6 months ahead of the game, and it's like
when you have a job, it's difficult too, because you're like, oh, I'll do that when I have some free time or when I have a good hair day, or like next time I'm dressed up to go out, I'll film that reel. And then
I don't,
6 months have gone by and that's not trending anymore. So it's irrelevant. Yeah. Because I'll do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like one of these days there will be a time where I'm, getting ready and I'll do the sound and I don't.
Yeah. I'm like, it would be really easy just to have like a videographer with me all the time.
You're so nice.
Can you just like do that? And so I can just
it would be so
nice. And you can create the videos for me and
exactly.
Exactly.
We need a roommate that's a videographer.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah. We do.
Can help pay our rent and also, content creation.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive a little bit deeper. How did you, like, when was your first take on entrepreneurship? Like, have you, like, you're in med sales, right?
I am. I'm in medical device sales.
Have you always, like, since,
So I've always been corporate and I probably will be corporate forever because med device is very good to me and I'm in a great position. I run Georgia and Tennessee. Our company is mostly open heart surgery, but we do other kinds of ablations and things. And I'm very happy with my team and my product and everything. So it's really difficult to leave. And I also get something from helping the patients too. That's really deep seated in me because my mom was a nurse. So it's always been something that's important to me. So I'll stay forever. But hobby wise and entrepreneurship wise, I had started that maybe I went back to school to arrhythmia tech in order to do the med device sales, and it was expensive. And so I used to sell these paintings. I would get people to send me in a photo of their dogs.
You did
or like a photo of their cat. And so I would paint their dog with the bandana that says like Baxter or whatever on it. And I'd sell it for $200 and it kind of popped. And I was getting a lot of paintings and selling a lot. And then I got a job at Anytime Fitness because they thought that I looked fit. And I was an ex-athlete and they thought that I should be a fitness trainer. And so I got my certification and whatnot. And I used to do these fitness classes. And there was a day where it was raining where a bunch of people didn't show up. And so I had filmed it. And this is early Instagram days.
Yeah.
Really, really early. So I would film the classes and then the people liked to just watch the class and do it on their own time.
Yeah.
And it was ruining my class because people weren't showing up to the class. They wanted to do it on their own time. And so I moved more digital and that's when Instagram was coming out. And so I was filming a workout for free every single day.
Absolutely.
It was part of my job. And so everybody really liked that because it was videos of like food and cats and stuff at the time. And, you used to swipe and there was 5 filters you could pick from and that sort of thing. So if I did different workouts, you could it would like chop up in like an old school type of way. And that was it did so well that I almost didn't graduate arrhythmia tech and go into med device because I thought, wow, I'm a fitness influencer. This is my thing. People really like it. But I'm glad that I pursued, my original intention was to be in the medical field to help others. And I'm glad I pursued that because as I went into the medical field, my first job with St. Jude that got bought up by Abbott. And we did a sort of coding thing where I would program these algorithms behind these devices that had leads that screwed into your heart and it would control the heart and whatnot. And as I was doing that in the fitness page, everybody got into fitness. It was all over Instagram. It was exploding. There were all these fitness influencers. There's a lot of competition. I had my digital online program. And so I'm so glad that I had the two to balance me out, because it also started to be a lot of pressure where I felt like I needed to look fit in all my videos.
I'm sure.
So I wasn't allowed to eat before. I couldn't drink too much water, and it actually was really unhealthy for me. And then I would refilm, and I would be like, oh, well, this is the correct way to do the exercise, but like my body doesn't look good. So maybe I'll film it from this angle, but now they can't really see how to do the exercise. So I look good, but they're not getting what they need out of it. And so, yeah, that kind of, I'm glad that I don't do just the Instagram, because it is a lot of pressure, and it's a lot to keep up with the trends, and people are getting younger and prettier, and, there's always going to be a new app and whatnot. So I'm glad that I have my medical device career as well as Instagram, because now I can kind of use Instagram as my hobby. If somebody's, I don't have to post about a phone case if I don't want to pay my rent. So that's really nice, because, when you keep it your hobby, it's a little more authentic, I think.
I feel like that too. And, with the whole, like me starting this like business coaching endeavor, I don't know, like, I mean, I do know what I want to do. I want to help people and I want to coach them and stuff, but like, I don't have the pressure of like, I need to do this in order to make an income and pay my rent. Like, it's, wow, I'm okay. I like talking about business strategy and like helping people in the online space. Ideally my target audience is like other coaches. And just like, and once starting out, hey, like I've been stuck at, feel like I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall, hoping that it'll stick kind of thing. Sometimes I'll have clients, sometimes I won't. It just feels like they like get burnt out because they're constantly like trying to get new clients. And it's like, so you want to help them navigate the mindset and the energetics behind everything. But I want to do it. Like, it feels fun for me now versus like maybe 2 years ago when I was not in the best headspace, it would have felt like I was like the energy probably would have been felt from me, because I probably would have gotten into burnout from everything going on, but I probably would have been coming more from like a place of lack myself.
Oh, I can watch my old videos and see that I forced them. Other people may not be able to, but I can tell that I wasn't into it. I think a lot of people are using Instagram as a vehicle to their business, which is exactly what you're doing. Because I think if it's the number one thing, then you absolutely get burnout. I mean, it's difficult to keep up with Instagram. It's tough.
No, it is. How does, like your mental health, has your mental health ever really been affected by all the things that you're doing? I mean,
oh my gosh,
showing up and you're
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I started ATLSwimWeek, I was horrified because I did everything I could. I put like my whole life and passion into it, and I was hoping that it would go really well. People would interview me after the show, like, "Oh, did you know it was going to go this well?" I was like, "No, I had no idea." I invited all these models and they were my friends, and I was hoping that they would come, but I don't know that they have their flight or their hotel. I'm not double checking them. Like, I don't know that the podcasters are going to show up. Like, I couldn't tell how many guests were going to come because the week before the show, I had 40 people coming. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like all my pride and ego is in the show. Everybody knows it's my show. So, and then the week of it doubled, the day of it tripled. And so, I mean, some of it was marketing, part of it was luck, but it's tough to know, right? Like, you just got to take the chance and do everything you can. And once you're prepared to a certain amount, that's all you can do.
That's all you can.
Being online in general, I mean, I get comments all the time that would shock you. And I actually had somebody make an entire video just about me and how terrible I am. That had never met me before in my life. And they come online and they're like, someone who's got an energy drink in their bio is a major red flag. And like, look at this girl. And I mean, the whole video is about just me. So that was really crazy. And I remember people were blowing me up. It was a big page, and they make fun of influencers and whatever. And people were texting me, and I was at work in the OR, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this? This is so bad." And I came out of the OR and I was like, "No, I'm at work."
Right.
So I haven't seen it. And I remember watching it like, why would somebody do that to me? Like, and I did nothing wrong really, but that's their thing. That's their thing. They make fun of influencers and whatever. And so I was put on the page, and that was bad. I had to turn off my comments for a while, and I almost thought about like ghosting my page, like deactivating it and reactivating it. and then after a week, I was okay, but yeah, that was bad.
That's
That was like a very low.
Oh yeah.
Because I was just like, I just didn't think that, somebody would dedicate a whole video
Right.
to
Oh yeah.
how much they hate me when they had never met me. And now saying it out loud is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
when you see those things, it
was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
It's a lot. It's not funny, but like the other day I went on
It's kind of funny because it hurt you so bad for a stranger in their basement. You're like, come on, Maddie.
Right.
We're stronger than that. Come
Yeah.
on, get
No,
up.
absolutely. Absolutely. I
Get
mean,
up the
like,
horse.
like after the show aired, like I was getting, not nice messages.
Totally.
And even still to this day, it's like after every like new season, after the final episode, it like auto plays the first season again on Netflix. So I'll get like some, messages or comments like randomly like about the situation and everything. I'm like, okay, we're over it now. But like then probably in a year or two afterwards, like after the show aired, like things would affect me like really bad.
Sure.
And like probably within the first 6 months after the show aired, I mean, I was like, came out as like health coaching on the show and everything. And I was tied to a network marketing company at the time, because that's what helped me like lose weight back in the day for me and stuff. And so I was never like, they're also like pyramid scheme, like network marketing is such a pyramid scheme and everything. And like this girl who, same thing, she's a super big following, super big YouTuber, decided to do a video on me about how I was doing, like, oh, the girl from Love is Blind is doing said so-and-so network marketing. She's such a scammer, blah, blah, and just raking me a new one. And I was like,
it's terrible.
I sent her, I don't think she ever saw it, but like I sent her an Instagram message, like a voice memo, like, how dare you? Like, I was just like hot and bothered. I normally wouldn't react, but I was like, I'm sorry, but you don't even know me. First of all, you don't know my story as to why I was using that product, or not the product, the program and the service, that I went through this entire like weight, like hormone, mental health thing. And you're literally fucking knocking me because you knew nothing about me. I don't think she ever saw it, but I wish she did.
I thought about messaging the guy, like, why are you doing this to me? Why? Like, so many people were coming to my page and commenting about how I'm terrible and I've got no life and I'm fake and I look ridiculous and dissolve your lips and just all this crazy stuff. And it was so overwhelming. It was so much that I couldn't delete the comments because it was thousands. So I just turned off all my comments, and I thought about messaging him, like, why are you attacking me? Like, what, your whole job is bullying other people? I don't understand. But I was like, that's exactly what he would want. And then he would put it on his story and be like, look at this stupid idiot.
That's crazy.
So I was like, I'm just not even going to give him the time of the day, and I'm just going to wait it out.
Yeah.
And
that was
I mean, it would be good to send a message, but I just thought it might ramp up another video. So I was like,
no, that was probably a good idea.
But you know what to do in that situation. Like, there's no right answer. It's like, but do you message him and get roasted again? Do you not message him and let him win? It's like, there's no good answers.
No, there's not. Oh my gosh.
There's no winning. Wild. It's only losing.
Yeah. That is crazy though. Oh my gosh.
I know, it's terrible.
The other night I was like, oh, I wonder if anyone's made like a interesting video about me on TikTok. And so I like went to search thing and like typed in my name. I was like, I like saw one and it wasn't bad, but I was like, Kelly, not
yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Why are we
not a good mental health exercise?
Not good. I was like, not.
How many people hate me? Yeah. Where are my trolls?
Yeah. Don't read Reddit. Don't ever do that.
I have some Reddit pages about me too.
Yeah. Like, don't ever do that. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay. So tell us about, so the reason why I wanted to have Maddie on was, honestly, I've been wanting to have you on for a while because I am inspired by your work ethic. I mean,
we tried so hard. We're so busy.
I'm so busy. I know.
I wanted to do this for so long.
Yeah, but I really do. Like, and there's so many, just the way you show up, the way you present yourself. And again, you're just, you inspire me. I'm like, okay, like, honestly, I think a part of me, like, I've been at my job for 2 years now, or almost 2 years now. And coming from like being a solopreneur, entrepreneur, and then going back into corporate, that can mess with your head too, in the sense of like, we're assuming that people think that, oh, she's not good at her business failed, and so she had to go get another job. And granted, I will say the way I was doing my business at the time wasn't working. That's why it, quote unquote, failed. But it never really did. I always had clients. It's just, it wasn't necessarily consistent. I wasn't consistent. And I was like, okay, there were other factors going on in my life that I'm like, okay, I need some consistency, and I need like something that I can control.
Absolutely.
And so that is the reason why I was like, I need a job. Like, I need something where I'm getting a consistent paycheck. Like, my nervous system is so much more at ease now. And again, then I can show up, and as you were saying, like, it's more of a hobby to you now. It's not like it's your job.
Just take some weight off.
It does.
And so you can enjoy it more. And people will say that to me too. They're like, oh, why don't you quit Med Device? Why don't you do Atlanta Swim Week and run a charity events and do your Instagram? I'm like, I'm not that good at it, guys. I'm like, not as good as you think. Like, I'm not making that much off Instagram, or, I mean, a lot of these events are charity events. I'm truly not making money off of them. Like, Atlanta Swim Week is breaking even, and I literally cannot quit my job.
Right. Yeah.
Med Device is so good to me, and it doesn't make any sense. And I have so much passion for it, and I'm helping these patients that I would never quit that to you know, do the charity events and the Instagram thing, because it's so secure for me, and I feel good about it. And, you know, I feel confident about my job. I feel like I'm good at my job, and my team enjoys working with me, and I like to show up, and I like to be in the OR, and I like to sit on the board and do the negotiations with the VAC committee and that sort of thing. And it brings me joy. So, you know, everybody's like, oh, you should quit. I'm like, well, I'm not miserable. I'm not trying to run away from my 9 to 5 though. I really actually enjoy my 9 to 5. So, but I think on the outside looking in, people are like, oh, well, you know, if Maddie's business was more successful, she would just quit. But that's not even true.
Right. No, that's not true.
Even if it does bring in money, I'm still not going to quit. Because I'm not miserable.
Right.
You like
what you do.
A lot of people are miserable, and I'm not.
Right.
I really like it.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely like this position that I'm at right now. Like, it has been such a gift to me in so many different ways. I mean, it's reflected back to me. Kelly, like, you're a people person. Obviously, you have a podcast. So, like,
of course,
I like talking. I like relationships and connecting with people and hearing their stories. And when I was working for myself, I was at home all the time. Although could I have worked at a coffee shop? Could I have gone different places? And yes, I had the location freedom when I was working for myself to a degree. Like, the podcast, obviously I need to do that in silence. Yeah. So I was in my house
creating reels and stuff. You kind of, it's like, can't really be in a,
it's like kind of hard. So, and I, there is a little bit of insecurity with me. Like, I'm not that person that like is out in public creating reels. Like,
right.
Like, people, yourself, like, you do that well. I don't do that.
I totally do it in public. I create reels in public all the time.
But I will
set my tripod up and be like, it's Maddie Gray again for nobody cares.
I love it. But I also like it is inspiring in that regard. But there were so many things like creating.
But it's definitely hard. I mean, I know that people are looking at me and I'm like,
yeah, like, oh my God. But it's fine also. But also, like, you know, I had coaching clients and I didn't want to be in like a noisy atmosphere for them either. So I was like, all right. So I was just stuck in my house a lot.
Sure.
Although, yes, I could have moved around and like worked from other places, but I just decided not to. And that was, I think, affecting my mental health too. Like, I felt very stuck and depressed and all that. And then like being in this position, I'm out every single day, meeting new people, going to different environments. Like, it's serving me in so many ways and like kind of reflecting back to me, like, what I'm good at.
Absolutely.
And it's been able to like help me in so many other ways.
Sure. I've seen that the busier I am, the more productive I am.
Yeah.
So if I know that I have a few cases, then I know I only have a very short window to work out and I need to go right then. And I need to walk my dog right when I get home or it'll be dark out. And so it's almost like if I have a day that's slower, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that later. And it doesn't get done.
Right.
So the busier I am, the more productive I am because I feel like I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
And so I end up making a list and I'm more intentional about my day because I know that I have limited hours.
Yeah.
So I actually like it.
Yeah. That's smart.
Yeah.
I would say that too. I mean, being in this position, like I can kind of make up my schedule a little bit because I'm putting appointments on the calendar, or I'm like, okay, from 9:30 to 11:30, I'm just out visiting clients, dropping off brochures, educating them, dropping off cookies, whatever I need to do. But the structure just is so helpful for me.
Structure.
I'm like, okay, the structure.
Exactly.
Kelly needs structure in her life in order to like make sure this happens. I mean, like even when I was working for myself, I did a good job at structuring. Like I would still get up and like do my workouts and like start to work and all that. But it has given me so much peace in regulating my nervous system. Again.
Absolutely.
That's been great.
Definitely.
And I can't think like, okay, I think our biggest thing is like we think too much about how we think other people think of us.
Yes. The overthinking.
I'm like, oh, they think I'm this way. And I'm like, people just don't give a shit. They don't care.
You always think people are thinking about you more than they are.
Yeah.
Or they're noticing something more than, it's like when you have a pimple and you're like, everybody sees it. Nobody sees it but you. Stop picking at it. Nobody sees it.
That's so true.
It's like just a big, giant social media pimple.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Okay. So how did you, I mean, obviously you just came up with this idea, but you have done other swim weeks like in Miami and New York, I think.
Yes, I have done all the fashion shows. I did Paris Fashion Week. I've been to New York Fashion Week and Swim Week. I've been to Miami Swim Week. I've been to LA. I've actually been to Greenville Fashion Week. I've done all kinds of stuff. And I just saw this pattern of something that I felt was maybe a gap in the market, where I would go to these shows as a model and, you're essentially there for the whole day because they don't want you to reveal the outfit and you're kind of stuck backstage and there's no food and there's no water and everything is delayed and that sort of thing. And so I had an amazing experience at all of these shows, but I did see some little gaps where I thought, well, I wonder if I could provide, these 4 or 5 things, and it would make for a really great model experience. And then I would talk to the designers and I would say, what did you think was missing here? And they would bring up some things that they wish that they had or they wanted to do. And it seemed like for Atlanta, there was a gap in the market that was missing, to where there needed to be an event where people fly in from all over the world to all collide and collaborate on one big event and join together to network with some really powerful and influential people. Right. And I knew all the models from all over the world. I knew all the designers, photographers, videographers. I met Getty Images and New York Times and Harper's Bazaar and all these people. And I felt that I knew the people of Atlanta. I felt like I had a strong network in Atlanta. Right. I felt that I knew the bars and the restaurants and the places to throw the events. I felt that I had a good support system, and that I also knew the modeling side. And when I first started it, I thought, I don't know that there will be any competition in the Atlanta market, because really nobody could do it like I could do it, where I have the business mindset. I have an extremely long sales career for the past 10 years. I'm very good at pitching people and making them believe in me. And I have a really good support system of friends and family in Georgia, as well as all the connections in the modeling world. So It's a really specific skill set that, nobody else really has. Right. And so I felt like I was the perfect person for that job.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it
made sense to me.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
And then she did it.
Absolutely. And
I walked that show.
Yeah, you did. And now we're both runway models, and all the other runways I've loved. I still go back. I just did Miami Swim Week. It was a blast. Yeah. And it's a learning experience for me too. I'm a model and a designer, and I throw the show. And so it's good to see from every angle, how I can make everything better. And I don't compete against the other shows. Like, I think competition happens at the bottom, and then all the big shows, like, we're all collaborating at the top. Like, I want to know what you did that made your show so great, and you should know what I did, and I'll share my sponsors with you. And these are people that helped me with my show, and this is something I learned that was missing, if you'd like to do it too. So I have really good relationships with all the other shows as well. We really don't compete. We're all different markets.
That's awesome. Awesome. What made, okay, so we did it back in May. Really, I like, it was so feedback that I got from people, my friends and followers and stuff. And they were like, Kelly, like whatever you're doing, don't do it anymore, because that's where you belong.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, we could like feel your energy.
You need to be on runway.
Like through the videos.
Yes.
Like we weren't even there and we could feel your energy
Yes.
like walking on stage. And I was like, that's what I felt. Like I felt electric, especially when I wore the wings.
Oh, the wings are the Victoria's Secret moment. The wings are insane.
Right.
They're so good. It's almost like if you walk out on a football field or something. I mean, it's like you hit the stage, and at least for me, everyone I had ever met in my life was at the show.
Yeah.
I mean, and everyone I had ever met, and it was just so exhilarating, and it was such a cool feeling.
It was.
There's nothing like hitting the stage.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing like the adrenaline rush of
like
hitting the stage.
And I just like this like wave. I mean, I feel like I'm a confident person, but this wave of overconfidence came through me, and I was just like, let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And the music was great. And and it was great too. I mean, I saw friendly faces, my friends could
Absolutely.
too. And it was just a wonderful thing. So what made you want to do like a fall show? Like we're doing it next week.
Oh my gosh, this was an idea. I'm doing it right now. This was an idea on a boat at St. Pete. And I just said, I like to do the one in May, June, the main ATLSwimWeek show around the summertime when you were to wear new swimwear and beachwear and you were to release that new collection. But what if we did an ancillary event to build up to the show? And we did like a smaller charity event, and originally it was going to be a Christmas event, and we were going to have everybody come in and do like a Toys for Tots type of thing. And so you bring a toy, you get in, and it's all for charity. And there's so much competition around Christmas because you got to think you only have 3 or 4 weekends, and you got your Christmas stuff and your spouse's Christmas stuff, and then your family's Christmas stuff, your corporate Christmas stuff, your friends do a Christmas thing, and then all your weekends are gone.
Right.
There's also major concerts and events, so the venue's prices were too high for me to throw a charity event, so I would be too much in the hole. And so we pivoted, and we were talking about Halloween and how there's really nothing to do. It's always somebody's house, or you go to a bar in Atlanta, and there's not a lot going on. And the Midnight Masquerade concept was so different and unique.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to go to a masquerade, and I've never been, and most people haven't been. And it's a specific event that, if you don't get invited to a masquerade, you'll never go in your life. And so we thought it would be really cool if we have the models in the swimwear and beachwear, then we don't also want the guests dressed up, right? Because we don't want everybody to be in that's too conjumbled. So what we want to do is we want to keep it classy. So there's a thin line between like the lingerie shows, or like we're doing like a swimwear beachwear show. You got to keep it classy, and that's difficult in a big city. So what we do is we make sure that the models are covered in a way that they feel confident, they look confident, the designer likes the way that it fits on the model, and the model feels like she looks good. And then the crowd is high end. And this is like a big networking marketing event to where people are dressed to the nines, and it's like a gala or a ball type of feel with a masquerade. So instead of having the guests wear a Halloween costume, we wanted them to be dressed up to elevate the show.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
That is great.
A lot of thought went into this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, the last, like back in May, granted, I'm not behind the scenes or anything, but I felt that you guys did a very excellent, like, I was like, I didn't notice any like hiccup.
No,
like,
we did an excellent job.
Really
and I was so blessed because we had multiple teams backstage. We were totally overstaffed, and we had teams of front of house, and it was not all me. I had so much help, but all of the models were high end. They knew exactly how to walk. Nobody really was new. They knew how to change quickly. Everybody knew exactly what they were supposed to be in and when to hit the runway and how to do the carousel and all that sort of thing. So we actually had no hiccups, which was so crazy for our first show. I mean, I had people calling me, that had done other shows and other things like, this looks like you have been doing this for 10 years.
Amazing.
And it was really cool. And it was so cool. Maybe 2 weeks after, I was in a coffee shop with my friend, and there were people, maybe 2-3 people in line above us that were talking about Atlanta's Swim Week, and they were like, it was the sickest show. Atlanta's got nothing like it. Nothing compares, and blah, blah. And like the other person I missed it, and they're like, I can't believe I missed it. Everybody I knew was at the show. And I was like, that's my show.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I almost wanted to go up and be like, that's my show.
No,
but I didn't.
No, but hey.
But it was so cool. I was like, it's almost like I'm famous. I'm not, but it felt like it at the time.
You are.
When I hit the stage at the end, it felt like I was famous. I was like, whoa, look at all these people. They stood up for me, and it was so overwhelming. My pose was this. At the end of the runway, I was like almost crying because it was overwhelming in the best way. I have no complaints at all. We did have a couple of little things that we're going to elevate that they didn't really go wrong, but we thought of better ideas. So for the show in October next week, we do have some little surprises and some things where we think we maybe elevated the show even a little bit more.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
So
it.
excited.
I'm scheduled to walk in 3.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm so excited. So last time in May, I was scheduled, I think at first 2, and then I was brought into yours.
You can land another one.
Yeah. And
Yes,
so I
you
love
can.
that. But it was so funny. So it wasn't the wings in your suits, but it was the 2 other brands that I was modeling, and they were back to back.
Sometimes it happens.
And I was like, I brought, I think, one of the outfits because they were like, you're not going to have time.
And you got to keep up with it too.
And I grabbed my like other bathing suit
or something.
I grabbed my other bathing suit and I just put it in the hallway where we were all like walking to line up on stage or whatever. And I literally just changed.
Yeah, you have to.
And there was like all these guys back there. I was like, sorry, you're going to see all my shit.
It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it.
I was like, I am not missing.
And they know too, the middle models know too, because they have to do the same thing. So we're very strict about our videography and photography backstage because like the Victoria's Secret fashion show, it's really cool to get the behind the scenes content, but you have to be so strict and careful with it. We have security back there and we make sure our models are protected and everything because that's definitely all part of the fashion show is the quick change.
I was like,
it's time. And then you hit the stage again and it's so thrilling and fun.
It really was. It was so good. Okay. So what is your, where do you want to, like after this show, obviously, again, this may be something that maybe it's just right now, but do you want, like, ideally, do you want to see Atlanta Swim Week do like a spring fall thing for like the next 10 years to come?
Absolutely. What we want to do is the main show in the spring, and then we want to do an ancillary event, some sort of a charity show to give back around the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, or you can even do like a Valentine's show, something like that, so that people don't forget about Atlanta Swim Week, because I don't want it to be a one-time thing. And the good thing is Atlanta Swim Week is blowing up so fast and so quickly that we also have like other bars and restaurants. Like we did an event at Fetch and we did an event for Hills for Atlanta. And so there's other organizations that are working, they're kind of reaching out to us to work with us.
That's awesome.
To keep everybody's mind on Atlanta Swim Week so that we're not forgotten about. So we do love to partner up with other organizations as well. And that way, you know, it's on it's front of mind.
Yeah. You guys had a great turnout at the Hills.
The Hills for Atlanta was crazy. I mean, we definitely had over 250 people because I bought these breast cancer sweatbands. And I know I got 250 of them and they were gone immediately. So it had to have been a ton of people.
Wow. It looked like it. I was like, wow, that was like a really good turnout.
It was so good. We had Lululemon, Not Just October, Atlanta Swim Week, Hills for Atlanta, Rain Energy. Everybody kind of came together for a breast cancer awareness and wore pink. And we did the workout, and props to AB. He's extremely impressive. He runs all of Hills for Atlanta. I've been friends with him for a long time. And we're super thankful to be able to be a part of it. I just feel really grateful that everybody showed up and came out because it was cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. It's like Atlanta's having our like fake fall or fake winter.
It was freezing. I mean, I had a really cute fitness set. It was light pink with cherries on it, and it was a matching sports bra and shorts. You never saw that. You never saw it. Nobody ever saw it because it was so cold.
Super cute.
I was in sweats. Yeah, I did show the shorts for some of the pictures and then put my sweatpants right back on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was really cold.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, it's so exciting. I'm so excited to walk. Like I'm pumped.
It'll be great.
I'm so pumped about it. And it was so last time Maddie and I were talking about me hosting because obviously I had the podcast and everything. And then she was like, I feel like you would, what if you thrive better as a model? And I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, I am so grateful for you for suggesting that because it really
better, right?
Granted, I'm sure I would have enjoyed hosting too, but I definitely I needed my spotlight moment.
It's a once in a lifetime type of thing. Is a lot of the podcasting is similar to the hosting.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you kind of get the same feel, whereas the modeling is like,
Yeah.
it's so different.
Yeah.
It's something that you can add into your portfolio. Also, I'll run my model.
Yeah. I am super excited. And I will say this, like not to say I was having like body image issues, but I drank a little bit the night before and I had eaten like a lot of, I was eating like a lot of bread because my friend was in town from California and I was like, what do you want to eat for breakfast or whatever? And she was like, just like avocado toast is fine. And I don't eat bread because I have gluten intolerance. So I was like, well, sourdough, it's like the better of the bread.
Sure.
So I would eat it. And like, I noticed, I mean, I think this is everybody, but like when you wake up in the morning, like obviously you have like a flat stomach and then at night, not so much. And that's kind of like what was happening to me. So when I'm walking at 9 o'clock at night, like I felt fine, but like looking at pictures, I was like, okay, maybe like I was a little bloated. Like you could tell I'm a little bit bloated, but like
I couldn't tell at all.
In that moment, there was no bloat. I was like on cloud 9. It was amazing.
Perfect.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, you looked great.
Thank you. I had the best time and I can't wait to walk this week.
So much
definitely
fun.
check it out. And if you want to attend next time or be a part of it next time, follow Maddie. We're not done yet, but follow Maddie and myself so that you can see like when to apply for these things and whatnot.
We post about it all the time. You can't miss it. It's all over our page.
It's
you'll see it.
It's a fabulous event too, even if you just come to attend. Like
absolutely,
it will inspire you. So and then it's just fun because you get to meet a lot of different people and it's so fun. But I wanted to ask you, kind of pivoting a little bit, but because you are very public and you're a serial entrepreneur and you have a lot going on, you do have a boyfriend.
I do. You do. Oh, I love him so much, and I am so blessed to have him. So you get to the point where you're dating and you're dating and you're dating, and eventually you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna make this work. Like I've got a couple things, but it's not a deal breaker and whatnot. And then I met my boyfriend now, and there's none of the things. Everything is literally perfect. And I know people say that, but I mean it. I mean, we literally don't fight. Now I try to fight, right? Because I'm an Aries, so I will try to fight him. And I'll come home and I'll be like, "Why would you do that?" Whatever. And he's like, "Okay, I won't do it ever again." And you're like, I had more. I was gonna. I'm in my fighting, but you can't fight with him. He's too nice. He's calm. He's collected, and he's like literally impossible to fight with. Wow. And he's very coachable. He's a football player, so if I'm like, hey, this means a lot to me, or this is important to me, or this hurts my feelings, it never happens ever again. Wow. It's highly coachable, which is amazing. I love that. Yeah, he's coachable. Yeah, he doesn't need a lot of coaching, but I'm also very open in my communications. Right. So which is very helpful. If something bothers me, I say it immediately. Good. Immediately, because I don't want to sit on it and then I go out and I have a drink and I'm telling my friend about it and now she has control over our relationship. Right. I'm like, oh, he said this thing, isn't that weird? And she's like, yeah, that is weird. It probably meant this. And I'm like, I already made a conclusion and I didn't even talk to him about it yet. Right. So that's something that I've learned, from my past that I get really fired up about, things that aren't true. I honestly, I'm just like, I love that you just said that because I needed to hear that. Yeah. Those who have listened to my podcast the last 2 weeks know that I had a situation and I just had to have a very big heart to heart with someone. Because of the fact, and I was like, I am going to take blame for all of this. Like, I haven't been communicating with you the way that I need to be. And I think that, whether it's my emotions are taking over, ego is taking over, being influenced by other people's thoughts and opinions about us, has been taking over. I'm sorry that I may or may not have publicly kind of said I was like done with this and like I'm done with the gray area and I'm done with all this stuff. And then I was like, that wasn't the way. And before I even talked to him about it. Yeah. Like I publicly was like, it happens. I ended a gray area situationship without having a conversation with him. And I was like, I could have prevented this. He was like, you literally could have prevented this whole conversation if you had just addressed whatever was on
freaking heart with me.
Yep.
And
that's why I do it now, because it had to be learned, because we've all done that, right? And like, if I'm in a situationship and I feel that something's off, I'll just leave.
Right.
I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna leave you before you leave me. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna block you. And so I don't even want to know what you had to say, because it's gonna hurt my heart,
Right.
So
Yeah.
and I've learned better now, as I've matured a bit and aged, and so now I just deal with things differently. But the reason why I do is because we've all done this.
Yeah.
We all do this.
Yeah.
We're scared and we don't want to be hurt, and so we end it before they can end it.
Right. Yeah,
It's a control thing, right?
I think it's a control thing.
It's to protect our heart.
It is,
because we're scared.
Well, that was it. I was like, I feel like I haven't communicated these things with you because I think that there's a part of me that like fears rejection from
Absolutely.
you. Or that's probably the underlying issue, is that I fear the rejection from you and I don't want to not have you in my life.
Absolutely.
So for me to just continue to go with the flow of how things are going and not speak up for myself when something's bothering me,
right,
then I explode and I announce everything on Facebook or on Instagram and on my podcast.
Now it's on my social media.
Now it's all over my social media.
Now we all know what's up.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, I didn't say your name, and I was like really vague about it. And he was like, yeah, but people who know our situation,
yeah, everybody knows.
It's not vague. And I heard about it from people, and
everybody always knows.
Shit. Yeah. So I just really needed to hear that. So I would probably go back and listen to this podcast just for that moment.
Right? Yeah.
Because, and I think too, it's like, I think I've done so much like inner healing work and all this stuff. Like I'm aware, like I'm so hyper aware what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and when I'm doing it, like why I'm in my head about things. But also like, I heard a mentor of mine once say, it was like during a relationship course, and she was like, your partner doesn't need another mother. So stop mothering them. Like you want to come from a place of heart and love and encouraging a behavior versus criticizing a behavior.
Absolutely.
And I was like, that makes so much sense. So I think that when something bothers me, I don't know how to say it from a heart space. And yet I don't want to like sound like I'm nagging or getting onto him or something like that. So then I overthink it and then I just push it down. I'm like, okay, well, tomorrow it won't even be a thing. So, but then
you overthought the delivery. Yeah. And it never was delivered.
Yeah. Which I should have just been like, this is how it's coming out. And then it's never delivered. And
that's what I do. I just come home yelling. And then I'm like, no, we're not doing that. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. He's so good. He'll be like, here, you can see my phone, or here, it's this, we address everything immediately, and it's so healthy. It's the healthiest relationship I've ever been in.
That's awesome.
And I just feel, safe and protected.
Yeah.
I feel that I can speak openly, and if something bothers me, I can address it. And I know that I'm safe, and he's, there's nothing aggressive about him, and he's very patient and understanding.
I love
you got to be patient with me, because I bring the chaos.
Yeah.
I bring it in hard.
I do too.
Yeah, we bring the chaos. It's so funny. We met, he took me to this really nice sushi place. It was a Michelin star restaurant, and it was Jasmine Cross's birthday. She's one of my really good friends, and she'd run out TNG. And so after we went to dinner, I was like, all right, now we're going to go to my friend's birthday. And we got to pick up my other friends who have a baby, and they got a babysitter, so they got to go and whatever. And he's like, I don't even know this girl. Right. Now I'm picking up her friends to meet her other friends. And we were literally out until 4 a.m. It was so crazy. Gosh. We got food and we met all these people, whatever. And then the next day I was like, okay, now you're going to pick me up, and we've got this Olympic party. We go to this Olympic themed party, and we're not even on the same team. So it's like with all these other people. Like playing Olympic games, literally playing with like matching t-shirts and stuff. And then the next day I was like, okay, now we have to make 50 dog bandanas for the fetch event. Oh my God. So we go to the fetch event, and he's helping me set up, and it's my event. So everybody's saying hello to me. Right. So I can't even really hang out with him. I mean, I threw him right into the fire, and he was so patient. He had fun with it. He really enjoyed it. So, and he loves meeting my friends, and he's so kind. He's like a perfect match for me. We're great balance.
That's good. Yeah.
So it's been great.
I always wondered too, because people that are in the spotlight, I've had, guys that have had interest in me be like, I'm not that. Like, I'm not that. So,
that's okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I get it. Like, I'm sure any man that I am with in the future, I will have, if I continue to be very in the public eye, it's like, it's about having that conversation about the respect and the boundaries and all of that. Granted, would I want someone to be willing and want to be in pictures and videos and whatever with me, and even come on my podcast here and there sometimes? Yeah, I do want that, but I would respect someone if they were like,
absolutely,
no, like I'm here to show up for you. I love everything that you're about, and I'm here to support you and all that you do. But I don't need to be like on the camera 24/7 either.
So obviously I've dated influencers and things as well. And now that I'm dating again, it's not so much that like I need someone to be an influencer. I just would like them to be open to helping me with events and helping me come online and that sort of thing. And I think with my boyfriend now, it's not really something that's important to him, but because it's important to me, he makes it work and he makes time for it. And, he's now interested in what's trending or what we should do or what would be good for the event. And, his mom actually loves all this stuff. She sent us these decor things that we're doing, and he's more of a builder. So he's really good with homes and fixing cars and all that sort of thing. So he likes to build. So it's almost like part of his love language is building these things with me. He enjoys doing it.
That's cool.
He also is in front of the camera because I made him do that too. But he's open to it because it's important to me.
Right.
I would never like force him to come online, but because it's a part of me. He's really great with it. We just did our first little reel. And he's been in some of my photos and stuff, and he's very supportive.
That's awesome.
So, and it makes my life so much easier because it's really tough to throw all these events and stuff. And he's come to all of them. He would never miss any of them. He helps me set up, he helps me break down, and it just makes everything more fun,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Having a supportive partner is important.
And it's hard because I think a lot of people think it's like nice and shiny to begin with, and then it kind of wears on them.
Right.
And then, it ends up being like a point of contention if you're too busy because you don't have that much free time. So a lot of our hanging out is doing stuff for my events, or we're doing stuff for him. We're like cleaning his apartment, or we're setting something up for my event. And like, it's not necessarily these like sexy dates. It's way more of us just getting things that we need to get done together. But because we're so in love, that is just as fun for us.
I love that.
So I think it's important to find someone that you have fun, folding laundry with.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think I want to say my love language, like my top one is quality time.
It's got to be similar for you because you're so busy. So
like
a lot of your dates must be like, hanging out.
Well, it's like I remember I was dating someone a while ago, and I was like, I am really busy, but like, can you just come over here and like hang out? Like, I just want to hear you breathe, basically.
Watch me vacuum.
Not to be creepy, but I was like, I just want to like hear you breathe, like that. Like when I can talk to you while I'm doing my things,
Absolutely.
And he was like, okay, that sounded weird, but okay.
But I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, I am. I'm busy, but I also am very intentional about trying to prioritize the guys that I'm, or guy that I've tried to date and that kind of thing. And because at the end of the day, I want that same reciprocation, and I want them to be that too, and
absolutely.
Like, I want to go on sexy dates and I want to get dressed up and do those things. But yeah, as long as like we're hanging out together, and I love it too, like the person I was just mentioning, like, we're not dating or anything, but I mean, when we're around each other, like we're not on our phones, like, and I like that just like as friends, it's like any friendship too. Like I love when we're connecting.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
having deep conversations and all of that,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just love that for you.
I know. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's been, dating is difficult in Atlanta. It's funny. So, okay. Story of how we met. I don't know if you saw this reel or not, but it popped. It hit 1 million views, and it's me in the airport, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, have to catch a flight because the dating pool in Atlanta has pee in it.
Yeah.
So his brother's girlfriend sent it to him, and was like, look, this is a girl that's super into fitness in Atlanta. And she's obviously single because, they're real. And so, he had reached out and we started talking, and that's how we got connected. Isn't that funny?
Wow.
Because I was saying how dating in Atlanta is so bad.
Yeah. How cool.
I know.
Did they they all lived here?
No,
he lives here, but
he lives here. His brother and her girlfriend don't even live in the state of Georgia. So they just saw the reel because it was circulating.
Cool.
Isn't that so funny?
That is neat.
So social media. So come online. Everybody's got something unique to share. So just try it out. Yeah. You never know who you'll meet.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
That's so fun.
Yeah. I love hearing that story.
Yeah. Yeah. So make it real.
Yeah. Make my reels. I gotta be diligent in making my reels. Yeah. I know. That's it.
You never know who it'll reach.
I know. That is true. It's like action creates clarity.
It does.
There was a guy, it was so funny. I posted, this was years ago. But I reposted, it wasn't even me in this, what is it, Lake Louise in Banff, British Columbia. It's like this very beautiful setting, mountains, like snow-capped mountains, and it's like a blue, like crystal, like turquoisey blue lake, and it's like an infamous place where people go and they'll like rent a red canoe and like sit in it. So it's like a photo op. It's yeah. Anyways, I was like, oh my God. So I posted this picture from someone else's page onto mine. And I was like, oh my God, this is like bucket list place to go. And some guy liked it. And this was before like a following that I had, right? My page was public, obviously, because I was doing the health coaching and stuff back then. But anyway, so he liked it. And so I went to his page. We're still friends to this day. I've never met in person. He's been on my podcast, but I was like, it's just so interesting how you really can connect with people. Yes. But I swear he's my twin in so many ways. He went through the same health coaching program that I went through. We are a day apart. Oh, our birthdays are literally a day apart from each other. Same age. Weird. And it's so crazy. And there's a lot of synchronicities of just how similar we are. And I'm like, totally. You're literally my twin, from another, from another mother. It's crazy. But it was interesting. And
on social media.
Yeah, it was on social media.
Yeah, social media will connect you with all kinds of people.
Yeah, it will. Good and bad.
Good and bad. A little bit of everybody.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What has been okay? I want to before we stop.
Another one.
What has been your big your toughest challenge, if you can disclose, your toughest challenge in life?
In life, oh gosh, that is a loaded question, huh? That's a tough one. I think like everybody, I do have a lot of pride and I have a big ego. And so I expect a lot of myself and it wears on my mental health. I don't eat enough. I don't sleep enough. I try to be everything and everybody. I want to be the pretty girl, but I want to be the fit girl, and I want to be the funny girl, and I want to be the entrepreneur, and I want to be the corporate girl, and I want to hit my quota and be really good at that too. And, I want to be everybody's everything. And I'm very much a people pleaser. And I think that affects me every day. If I had to pick something on a daily basis that wears on me, it would be the need for approval. And I feel like that's a interview answer, I try to be too good, but it's a problem to search for validity. Absolutely. For sure. I mean, it'll affect your relationships with your family and your friends and your partner. It affects the way that you post and what you wear. And it definitely is one of my demons is the validity. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good vulnerability, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure we all struggle with that. I mean, I know I do.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. And I don't think that anybody wants to admit that they're that vain because it sounds, yucky.
Yeah.
But I think that everybody is a little bit. And I think mine is intense. And so if I had to pick one thing that really gets to me every day, it would be that.
Yeah.
I need approval from not one person, but everybody. Yeah. And I need a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
that's probably,
What about you?
Gosh, yeah, same loaded question there.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
Yeah. I would say, kind of in line with that is just I have a tendency, probably because of that, seeking some type of approval in a sense, but like self-abandonment.
Yeah.
Like,
it definitely stems from a type of abandonment issues, whether it's, something happened with your parents or a partner or something. There's something along the lines happened where you feel like you're not good enough.
Right.
And it's not all bad because it makes us successful.
For sure.
It's an inner drive. So you're self-motivated.
Yeah.
But it could be from a darker way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You still got the same results.
Still got the same results.
But only we know on the inside what's going on.
Right.
And then they'll just see the shiny part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. It's a lot of like, again, I feel like I've done so much like inner work that I'm hyper aware of things. And then it's what you're saying, like it's just like overthinking, and then it's people pleasing. And then I'm like, oh, are they gonna like this? And it's not even necessarily like it's like a conscious thought. Oftentimes it's just like an unconscious, like, oh, I'm gonna not do that because maybe something like
you don't even mean to do it.
I don't even mean to do it or not do things that I do. I don't even know. I just know when I feel like I'm like, that wasn't good. Like that wasn't from heart space. That wasn't me. Like, why am I being so needy or graspy or like where is this coming from? I know a lot of us hold a lot of guilt, shame, even grief. I think grief runs my ship a lot, just through various things. Whether it's past relationships that didn't work out that they had worked out. Obviously, I don't wish that they worked out now, but like
at the time,
and or family complications and just being almost 40 and not being married, not even having a boyfriend, not being close to that yet, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of grief around the life I thought I would have.
Right.
So I think that has been running my ship a little bit in my actions. And again, that's what I was explaining to the guy last night. I was like, I know that like, it's almost like not about you and it's about what's going on inside of me as to why I was acting the way that I did.
Right.
Absolutely. I know that I need to be better. I need to show up better. I need to do what you do and just come out with it.
Yeah, just come out with it. Just start doing it. The only way to do the thing is to do the thing. Not to research the thing, not to hear other people talk about the thing, not to watch the thing, but you got to do the thing. Yeah. And you won't know what you need until you start doing it. So if you over prepare and you think, oh, I got to buy all these things. Now I got to buy this thing. What if this happens? You're not really going to know until you start. Right. Then you'll know what to go out and buy once you get started.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
I love it.
It really is.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, any last, I don't know, encouraging words for the audience or?
Yeah, that's a good one too. It depends. Do we want to wrap it up on entrepreneurship or dating or health and wellness, or what do you want our
do all three
last thing to do? All right. Let's see. For entrepreneurship, just do the thing. Start doing the thing. Set your pride aside. You won't know what you need until you start. So stop preparing and just start. For health and wellness, take care of yourself in a way that makes sense for you. You don't have to copy anyone else. If your thing is cycling, if you're running outside, if you're lifting, eat what feels good to your body. It's all really intuitive, I believe. For dating, don't settle. I know that I was at a point where I was like, all right, here's what's left. And so I'm going to make one of them work. And nobody's perfect. And so, I'm going to give these people a chance because I'm never going to find someone who is perfect because nobody's perfect. But there actually is someone out there that's perfect for you.
Right.
They may not be a perfect person, but they will match with you perfectly. And so now that I found one, I would say to wait for that one. And I've truly loved everyone that I've dated, and I'm friends with all of them, and they're amazing people, and nothing bad happened. I think some of them didn't have the tools to love me back. And we're all really good friends, and I'm glad that it happened. But I am glad where I ended up.
Yeah.
Too.
I too.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. She's glowing.
She's glowing. I'm so happy. Yeah, I just feel safe and supported, and I think that's so important.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. To feel safe. That's good.
Number one.
Yeah, that is.
If you don't feel safe and everything else is aligned, you'll always have something in the back of your head.
Right.
You'll always be a little scared.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. Well, where can everybody find you?
So I'm Maddie Gray _fitness. My business is ATLSwimWeek. And that's it, really.
Yeah.
I have like 5 Instagrams, so don't even worry about the other ones. Maddie Gray _fitness and Atlanta Swim Week.
Yes. And if you're in Atlanta, the show may be sold out by next week, or the show may be sold out.
When this airs, I don't even know if you can get a ticket, but you should try.
Yeah, but try and get a ticket. So if you're in Atlanta, definitely come. You can see us, meet us, and we'd love to see you and just be there to support.
Absolutely.
And you never know who you might meet there too. So.
Oh, super powerful, influential people. If you're looking for a ticket, go to ATLSwimWeek on Instagram. It's the link in the bio.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you, girl.
Yay.
We have a lot of content, I think.